going to find himself getting passed by multiple cars, as I mentioned earlier on. So you're off in a very precarious situation, but he often finds himself in these places. Doesn't qualify as well as he races. Only
Up front, they are getting with Lee Aberdeen and Luca Varani, not very far apart at all here. But I just want to see how Alistair Hayes deals with Marcello Kessler coming around the old hairpin.
But I would say it's not the best decision they've ever made, just not having done that under the safety car, really.
Yeah, they're taking their pit stop strategies from Ferrari lately or something. What's going on?
In turn one, just too much gas on them, too much feet on the loud pedal, and unfortunately he's dropped him all the way down the order. But Philip Hammer is out in front by an 8.91 seconds. Oh, Dan Michael is a wall there, sir. And it definitely doesn't want to be hitting that earlier on as well.
Difficult, the understeer is in the dirty air through that final corner because it's such a long corner and you get dragged off into the grass very easily. He'll have the slipstream down towards the chicane. Peterson was briefly alongside, but that slipstream has saved him and kept him in third.
Yeah, Barani now lost a little bit of time to Aberdeen, about half a second. Peterson is Pike's pushed more and forward up ahead. He's got out of line. It's now Pike going to have a go. Werrell, don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's come back into play. Exactly. Miller's just such a he's such a second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Moving on to the back end of Phil Jocelyn. So there's been a lot of movers and shakers in his first 2 laps here for race.
Absolutely serious racing league. Everybody's a lot of have fun. Yeah. And it's all about the entertainment. So I hope everybody is enjoying themselves out there in the chat. We know that Ron is enjoying himself watching the Burger King machines off into the grass a little bit there. Is that really bunching up now?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for the Sim Racing for Simpletons Round 5, Season 5, live from Sebring. I'm James Parfitt, and I'll be in the booth with one Mr. Howie Burrows here this evening as well, as we looking forward to 25 laps of action. Let's bring you up the scores on the doors at the moment. Gabriel Hopp is out in front on 88 points with Pablo Uribe on 79. Jeff Groff on 76 in third. Then we've got Frankie Bruskowski on 68. Chris Sears on 65. Carson Key moves up into sixth on 59 with Brian Long 55 and Anthony Zitch on 53. Christian Jasper 51. Victor Chamorro on 46 and Rodson Stafford tied with Lucas Moody both on 45 points. And you've got William Love, Manuel Vargas, Joshua Benjamin, Greg Duquette, Brian Benton, Nicholas Caranjas, Matthew Rodriguez, Samuel Marr, Philip Silvino, Zachary Lindler and Matt Dinsmore. In the team standings, it is FNG out in front at 156 points with CC Racing on 124, followed in closely behind Final Lap Sim Racing on 120, then goes Squadra on 116, SR4S on 108, then you've got Sky Motorsports, Vortex Motorsports, Throttle Thursday North, Ineos Brot Team and Throttle Thursday South. The schedule itself, well, we are at Sebring and we do not have many more rounds to go. Next one will be Kota, then Mazzano, and then we're rounding off the season at Interlagos. We're just about to go into qualifying. Let's bring Howie into the booth. Howie, welcome in, buddy. How are you?
Having a great evening over here. Maybe a nice afternoon for the Americans on a good Sunday. This is a fantastic sports car track, but it is a terrifying Formula track. Underestimate it at your peril. For all of its wide sections, it sure kills your force feedback on the bumps, and more importantly, has some incredibly tight and super deceptive corners. Without ABS, you can get sent into the grass on this one. The racing gets tight, and there could be a lot of mistakes. Really looking forward to it. I love this place.
Yeah, it's been absolutely amazing. We did see it in the Super Formula lights earlier on where we started with 42, we finished with 30. So, you know, it can, how can I put it in a nice way, kill people as much as it wants to. The bumps are absolutely horrendous around here. Does it need a repave? Well, probably in real life, but it wouldn't quite be the same as it would be now as well, because the bumps are one area of this racetrack that distinguishes it from everything else here as well. But we're looking forward to this one. It should be fun now in 25 laps as well. How are they going to cope with 25 laps of Sebring?
It'll be over in a flash before you realize it. But one thing I've noticed in even like half an hour runs on this track is that the tires actually seriously start to fall off. Race probably still a little bit too short to force a pit stop, but in exchange, what you get is massive drop off on some of these extremely difficult corners in one of the hottest states in America, as well as it stands. And as a result, the race just gets harder and harder and harder as it goes on. It almost feels like an endurance, even when you're not here for terribly long. And it's so easy for every last little bit of this track to catch you out and send you into the grass. Not too many tight walls, but you still don't really want to be leaving at any point around here.
Yeah, absolutely. Track temperature at the moment, 76 degrees Fahrenheit. It's going to be interesting to see how they get on here as well. Thanks so much. If you have joined us, don't forget to say hi, and don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on the bells, and do all the other fancy jazz that you can do for free on YouTube. It doesn't cost you a single penny to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you don't miss any of the action. I can tell you there is no fewer than 15 broadcasts next week, starting tomorrow night with a Radical SR8 Championship. So, you know, if you want a full week of racing, you can definitely check it out. There is English, there is American, there is NASCAR, there is endurance, there is formulas, there is sports cars, there is a little bit of everything. So stay tuned for that one. Going into qualifying now as we jump on board with Carson Keane from the Valley Motorsports here at Howie. Earlier on, well, in the Super Formula lights, it was quite interesting. We saw a little bit of everything. We saw spinning randomly after applying the throttle too much. We saw hitting the curbs and going round. We saw overcooking it. We saw car contact. We saw everything. These are the big brothers. These are the daddy of them all. Are we going to see the same thing that we saw last time?
I think even with an increase in talent, you doesn't necessarily increase the fear when you get into one of the scariest cars in all of iRacing. This car's an absolute beast, and it's a fantastic Formula racer, but it is super on the edge, it is super challenging, and this is a very tight and deceptive track all around. So I think there's going to be mistakes and also some great moves aplenty. There's also some great passing opportunities down that back stretch and into the incredible sunset corner around the back, which you can never really know the best way to take. And that's going to be the first of many, as we just see right there. It's very easy to hit the edge of grip around here. And for all of my talk about the temperature, I proceed to get immediately smacked by hearing that it is barely above average here. So that might not turn out to be a factor. I can see that it's kind of, it's cooling down in the area, but I think the driver intensity is going to heat right up.
Yeah, absolutely. That is one of the corners coming out of Le Mans, of course. The other one is here at Sunset. Very bumpy for an open wheel car, of course. We had somebody in earlier on who was saying, why do they run Formula cars around here when you can barely get other, models around here at the same time? And my response was, well, it's fun. Why not? You know what I mean? And I think that's the thing with these. It does work. It does work. But it also gives you a great workout. Now, obviously, coming up this Thursday is Radical SR10s. And the man in the Discord at the moment, and he drives on a motion simulator with VR. Now, he's already asked whether or not he needs to turn the VR down to drive here, and everybody, the response from everybody is, I'm sure your dentist would probably appreciate it if you do, Howie, because it is that bumpy.
I mean, my terrible little G29 can barely take it. I'm a Formula Lights driver by trade. I'm going for that low position divisional championship this season, in fact, and this has been a really, really, really tough track in just those cars alone. We're amping up the horsepower, we're amping up the pressure. I couldn't imagine bringing a motion sim here in these little cars. I mean, this is a sort of track where, like, you imagine, oh, would F1 race well here? And you'd think, yeah, they'd race well around the layout, and then they would die on the main straights of the track. You can just see that old airport runway. Just brings out the worst in these little things. Yeah, if I could barely take up the cheapest wheel, I don't want to even hear about it on the motion rig. That sounds painful.
It definitely does, and everybody has advised that the young sir to turn it down, and let's put it that way. I'm sure his floorboards would probably love that as well. We've got times coming in thick and fast at the moment, so we'll keep an eye on the timing screen. 1:37.943 from last time winner Pablo Valenzuela. So it's going to be interesting to see what goes on and how they get on. Carson Keane actually took the win at Silverstone. Pablo Valenzuela took it at Road America. So, yeah, could be a very, very interesting race, this one. And we're hoping that people do survive, of course. Christian Jasper has been going purple in sectors 1, green in 2, orange in 3 and 4, which means there's no improvement, where Pablo Valenzuela has been going green, purple, purple, and currently they are right near each other on the racetrack. So we're going to try and flick between the two and bring you up the action on that one. Where do we think the flashpoints are going to be, Howie, here as well with these cars?
Turn 1 is, you can take a super, super wide entry from the outside. I know that some of the other Formula cars can take it virtually flat out. We'll see how they take it around here, but that's going to see a lot of cars try and go wide, and then the track massively thins up as you actually enter the paved section of the track. Of course, that final back stretch is going to see a lot of heavy slipstream attempts as well. That entire final sector is really where everything's going to explode, I think. You really want to survive the first two, although there is one more nice little tricky one near the middle. But it's that final sector where we're going to see a lot of action more than anywhere else, I think.
Yeah, I think there's a very... You've got to pick your overtaking points. Now, Gurney Bend is one, which is where we are at the moment on board with Pablo Valenzuela. If you can get him down into the hairpin, that's great. Running up into Collier, Tower, very, very difficult. Down Bishops, the long straightaway at the back before you get into Le Mans. Then onto the Ulman Straight. It's really going to be, I think, the run out of Le Mans. Howie, how are they going to get on when they get on to Ulman? They've got to, if they're in a battle, they've got to stay close to make that overtake in turn one. The problem is with Le Mans, as you and not in Le Mans, sorry, down into Sunset, multiple different lines. You can send it in deep and hope it sticks, almost kind of like Lightning McQueen, turn left to go right. Or you could brake early and keep it tight to the wall and try and get the run out. So multiple different lines, multiple different actions that can be taken. Yeah, it could be quite interesting.
This is also going to be a track where the use of the overtake system is going to be really interesting, just because everyone's going to want to use it down Osman, but if everyone uses it around there, do you really have it at all? Are you instead going to try and save it for those accelerating spots in the tight middle of the track, tighten up that gap, and then take the really powerful slipstream on the back straight? I think there's going to be a lot of different ideas when it comes to the strategy. It's not just one place where it's superior to the others.
I think that's the thing. There's some series that I watch I watch, more like I talk on, and you can guarantee that you'll turn around and go, right, the overtaker positions are going to be here, 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 and here, and then they completely prove you wrong and use every part of the circuit at any part of the racetrack, and before you know it, you've got an overtake in a corner that you shouldn't have an overtake on. Are we looking at the same thing? We're sitting here saying Ulman down in the Sunset, run from the Sunset down into turn one, down Gurney into the hairpin. But then knowing our luck, we'll get an overtaking Collier.
I think it's just as ever, you want to exploit mistakes. The track does get quite thin in places, but with so many corners that look easier than they are and so many bits that just suddenly come out at you, Collier is especially going into 10 and 11 is especially just a corner that comes out of nowhere and also has a lot of runoff. It allows you to take advantage of people's errors, and I think the long-term endurance of this challenging track is going to push people into those errors quite a lot. There's a lot of runoff that lets people make mistakes in some of these sections, come back and lose positions without causing huge wrecks. So you could be trading places back and forth like this.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think if you're in the section there, as Jeff Groff just goes on to pole on a 1:37.056, we're just keeping an eye on Manuel Vargas. Frankie Bruskowski has just come over the line. Chris Sears, Samuel Maher are going to be next and in the run down into Ulman. I think we will see various overtakes in various positions. As much as we sit here and say it's going to be here, 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 and here, what we are actually saying is it could be anywhere, especially at Sebring.
And those early few laps are going to be very, very scary for everybody, just knowing how this track tightens up suddenly. As you look through this turn one, it's super, super wide, and then there's grass on both sides, and there's not. But it doesn't mean the action is going to stop after that. There's going to be so many flashpoints, so much drama in just 24 laps.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's going to cause us somewhat of a problem. I will correct you just quickly, Howie. It's 25 laps.
Oh, off by one. That's what you get for doing it past midnight.
Well, there you go. I'll give you that as well. So Gabriel Hopp going to come over the line. He's got about 15 seconds. He's improved across pretty much the board. What's the offset for Gabriel Hopp? Oh, he's put it on pole. The first man in the 1:36.892, Gabriel Hopp. Take a bow, sunshine, as you've just got to put it on pole right at the last minute. An incredible job from him. I wonder if Joshua Benjamin, Bronson Stafford and Matthew Rodriguez are actually going to appear on the grid. Let's bring you that up. Gabriel Hopp, as you've just seen, gone into first. Jeff Groff in second. Frankie Brosowski in third. Pablo Valenzuela in fourth. On row 3 is Victor Chamorro, Christian Jasper alongside him. Row 4, Carson Keane and Lucas Moody. Row 5, Chris Sears and Samuel Marr, with row 6 of Manuel Vargas and Anthony Zitch. In row 7, Joshua Benjamin and Bronson Stafford, with Matthew Rodriguez bringing up the rear. 15 cars on the racetrack. Hopefully, if the last 3 do take to the start, that will be Joshua Benjamin, Bronson Stafford. Matthew Rodriguez has taken to a start, so maybe he just elected not to qualify, which isn't a bad thing, I'd probably say as well, because there could be quite a few little melodramas for some of these cars in front. But Gabriel Hopp will be the first one to get away, and let's hope he gets away. There is no purple zone, there is no magenta zone, there is no follow each other zone, there is no orange zone, there's no zone. It's full flat from the moment the lights drop, and hopefully we will be able to get these cars off the line. No real dramas for some of these. As you can see, Gabriel Hopp in that Honda for FNG Racing there, and the lights are going to be coming on now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ladies and gentlemen, we're season 5, round 5 at Sebring. Is green, green, green. Gabriel Hopp got off the line, but did he get off the line well enough? Well, Groff's alongside coming into turn 1. Groff's going to try and run him all the way around the outside at the moment, but it's to no avail. Gabriel Hopp takes the lead into turn number 2. We run a little bit wide here. Why is that? That was because Frankie Brosowski was alongside us. Pablo Valenzuela. Brosowski lost the place to Valenzuela there as well. Brosowski's down the order. He is going rather slowly and is dropping all the way down to 11th, 12th. Is he giving himself a challenge, or did he hit a slowdown coming out of that turn? I can tell you one thing though, Brosowski all the way down into 11th, but it is Gabriel Hopp breaking away at the beginning here at Howie as well, and with Jeff Groff sitting in second.
There is no lap 1 that I know of on the Formula schedule that is scarier than the Sebring start, and I think we just saw a little bit there from Brosowski. Very easy to overcook it in one place and just drop down the order, get mugged by the field around. Everybody else has made it through, though, with no serious contact, so we have a race up ahead, no carnage. Lots to come.
Yeah, we do here. Pablo Valenzuela in there. Crispin Jasper has got Victor Chamorro behind him. Lucas Moody with Carson Keane. Samuel Marr with Manuel Vargas, and Brosowski's in with Vargas. So Bronson Stafford, Joshua Benjamin, Matthew Rodriguez and Chris Sears towards the back end. It's going to be a 2-3 wide situation here. That's never good going into this corner. Stafford nearly takes it 3 wide. Brosowski takes the inside line. You can see Zitch running close out to the wall. Vargas has lost a lot of positions. 3 wide, not a good idea. And up front, Crispin Jasper has got Victor Chamorro behind him. 3 wide, Howie already, and we're only on lap 2.
You miss every shot you don't go for. I'd send a 4th in there. I mean, whoever backs out first loses into a corner like that until it suddenly tightens on you and kills you. Love to see that sort of bravery. We're going to see a lot of people try and work out the line as it goes on. I'm still not quite sure in these cars exactly which is the fastest.
I can't really answer that question, Howard. You kind of put me on the spot and I don't actually know the answer. Carson Keane, however, is proving that you can try and hold the place where you're at. Oh, Lucas Moody.
First of many.
Yeah, that's not going to be the only one. Bronson Stafford, Brosowski right behind him. Oh, that was not a good turn from Brosowski on that one. Stafford got through a lot better. 1 second now. Stafford has got from Zitch. It's half a second to Brosowski. Sears and Benjamin running nose to tail. Oh, yeah. Chill. No, you can open that up a lot more, Chris. Gotta be honest. Benjamin did open it up. So did Vargas. And they've opened up over 3 tenths 2. Chris is here. Now he's going to... Oh, he's just not quite brave enough. Could he have taken the inside there? He did, Chris is. But could Benjamin have taken the inside, Howard?
One thing I would never ever do is try to dive on here. I think drivers are going to spend a little bit of time working out how they could run side by side before doing the bravest things. Moody also in the pit lane. And then as we're on board with Rodriguez, going a little bit wide onto that straight.
Oh,
It's going to happen.
So painful.
And it's such a deceptive corner. You go wide on outside the lines. You try and cut in, and if you don't make it there on time, the grass meets you, and you could just take the wall.
Such a painful spin as well. Chris is looking up the inside. He's just got through on Vargas. Vargas is also going to lose that position to Benjamin. There is half a car over there, and that is Frankie Brzezowski. How did you end up over? Oh, dude.
That's my experience in the SF23 summarized in one clip. Oh, one tiny little mistake on a car, super prone to them, and you are not coming back. I don't think the pit crew's talented enough to do that one.
No, so painful for Brzezowski on that. And let's try to get back into live pictures. The timing software has been playing up a little bit all day, and it looks like it's going to play up again. However, it's just managed to get back. So let's pick up on Jeff Groff and Pablo Valenzuela. You just missed the spin out, mate. Leighton Lewis is put in YouTube. Who did we miss there, Leighton? Let me know. We caught Rodriguez, we've caught Brzezowski. Who did we miss on that one as Valenzuela just starts going up the inside of Groff? He pushes Groff out. Is there going to be a situation where Valenzuela is going to have the inside? He is at the moment. Groff's got no response. He just looked a lot slower through that section. Now Valenzuela is going to open it up. It's about 4 attempts. He's now going to set after Gabriel Hopp, 2.2 seconds up the road. Victor Chamorro, Carson King, Crispy and Jasper all battling it out in that mid-pack as well here, Howie. Great little battles developing through the field. There you go. Symbol was the man who was in YouTube chat earlier on. I'm back to watch the carnage, he says. But we haven't done much, to be honest with you.
We've had some cars lose their wheels on the wall already 4 laps in. I mean, it's not seen car-to-car contact, but I think we've still seen a hefty damage bill for somebody. And that's going to be the first of many, as these cars seem to love losing their grip around here at all times necessary. Eventually, these fights are going to come to blows, though, and someone's going to misread it, and then the real drama is going to begin.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't forget, Symbol, this looks like higher speeds below it at F3. I'm afraid you're wrong. They are higher than F3s. The Super Formula lights around about the speed of the F3s. These are just probably not far off the W13s by a little bit. And I'll give you a rough idea how fast they are actually going. Oh my God, they've crashed on the straight. Oh my God, they just...
But that's not where I expected to see it side by side into the straight before sunset even opens up.
How do you crash on a straight?
Not
Crispy
much
and Jasper
space given on either side there. Both running each other in the middle of the track to the absolute
Oh man, Chamorro and Jasper, you are going to have some answers there. You can't go and do that. That's just ludicrous.
2 races,
Ludicrous.
2 more races ended to something very, very avoidable this time around.
It's crazy driving. You can't go and do that. Look at the cars. There's bits of them. You know, that's just absolutely bizarre on that one. And this doesn't want to go back live. There we go. We just got back on it. So Pablo Valenzuela is sitting in second place with Jeff Groff. Red Bull versus Ferrari Simulator, says Symbol in YouTube chat. To be fair, not far off.
I was going to say I'd seen something like this before in just the last few weeks, and it kicks off again. 4 drivers look like they may be out of this race 5 laps in. We're going to see a repeat of Lights race here today. I mean, it's simply going to be no end to it. Here's another driver, even a small little incident like that, tiny misjudging of it, and sorry, this punishing car, which is, by the way, a bit faster than the F2 car, for reference.
Yep.
sends you straight to hell. Another one from Matthew Rodriguez. These are tiny errors these drivers are making. Anyone can do them. But, there are some spots where you get a lot of grass. I did call out. I forgot to mention all the parts where there are also walls right now. It's about 50-50. Depends on where you make your mistake.
Do you know the scariest thing is Rodriguez did exactly the same thing? You know what I mean? That is literally not far off what he did earlier on, and that's a non-learning situation here as we're trying to get this back to live pictures. That would be nice.
Doesn't matter, in all the time you're trying to catch up, something else will happen that will make us go back to catch it on a replay. So it's okay, we're catching everything at some point.
Yeah, we are. It just doesn't want to do it. Right, bear with. I do apologise. It's been playing up all day. Unfortunately, but Valenzuela with Groff reminds me of the crash between Perez and Sainz.
Exactly.
There's at Leighton.
That's the free people now with that reference deep in their minds. Very true.
Yeah, it is, but you just can't do it on a straight.
Just like they did.
You never ever crash on a straight, and that's the thing. There's no need. It is highly embarrassing to crash on a straight. As we're on board with Pablo Valenzuela, to give you a rough idea on miles an hour on the right-hand side, they are doing literally 160 odd, 170, nearly touching 180 miles an hour. So they are very much quicker than F3s. Jeff Groff in there. As I say, they're not too far off the W13s, Howie, and I think this is your natural progression step up to the W13s when you're in this car.
Well, truth be told, the W13 in iRacing is a little bit dead outside of that full length series that shows up with F1, because it's not really a car that sprint races very well. It's a car where you have to have that long length for the strategy. This is the best high-power sprint racing car you can get in iRacing, where even those short sprints, the car isn't too bogged down by dirty air, isn't too bogged down by tyre strategy or endless ERS. It's got that fantastic overtake system. This is ultimately why a lot of people end their Formula career, because they just love it, and it really, really suits the format.
Yeah, I agree. I think W13s, I don't even know what the uptake is in officials anymore. I've stopped even tracking it, to be blatantly honest.
The sprint series is dead, but the GP Tour, the full-length series that follows F1, is popular every time it comes around. So people do like it on super long races, but it doesn't really work in a short length of time at all. That's right.
Yeah, I think they probably did on that. We're on the front right wing of Jeff Groff. You can see just how much movement there is on the wing. Watch the little bit of carbon down underneath the speed dial, which I'll take off your screen. You can see it flexing down, flexing up, moving around, seeing how much it's playing its part to try and hold this car on the track. Don't forget, there is two brands, Toyota and Honda. Are they similar? Absolutely. There's probably zero difference on the cars itself, but you can see that on board with the Toyota of Jeff Groff, it's working hard, that wing, Howie. It's not just there for decoration.
You see, the way it moved, it looked like it was damaged, but he's running very competitive laps. He's got the fastest of the race so far, and he is a little bit slow by the tune of two tenths. But I'll track that over the future laps and see how that every car is doing that. The cars are identical, apart from their engine sound, but you really should be picking a Toyota anyway, in my opinion. No shade against the Hondas, but given that choice side by side, it's easy to me. Might not be easy to you at home.
No, I think I would go for a Honda more than a Toyota, just due to pedigree in open wheel racing. We saw Toyotas in Formula One, and
I think about the sports cars when I think about it, and I figure out the Honda actually achieved something in F1.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think the Honda has done a lot more in open wheelers than Toyota has, and Toyota's done a lot more in sports car racing than Honda has. So I'm sure if you went through, Joshua Benjamin got that all a little bit Pete Tong there, and went in very, very deep. He's lucky that Vargas did not go through. However, Vargas has got him possibly under the cosh at this moment in time. Is that manual animal getting gapped? No, he's chasing Joshua Benjamin in front, but he's opening a gap of 23 seconds back to Lucas Moody. So, if that's what you mean on that one. I have to do some translations, Howie, I think.
Well, he's got pace, and I think he'll be looking to make this pass in a lap or two. We head into the best slipstreaming opportunity on the circuit. Haven't seen too much bold usage of the overtake system so far. I don't think it's being used, although I actually don't know if the spectators
No,
can
it's
see.
that.
It's being used ahead. Yes.
Yeah, it's being used ahead, but it's not being used behind. So that's obviously looking at their board, and obviously now we'll have a flashing light on Joshua Benjamin's machine, which means it's on cooldown. Vargas will stay static, so he's obviously not used it there. But we've got Chris Sears and Bronson Stafford in front there. Both of these guys are having a little bit of a battle further down. This is for 6th and 7th. With them individuals that have made a mistake, so Manuel Rafi Rodriguez, Samuel Ma, Frankie Brzezowski, Christian Jasper, Victor Chamorro. That opens it up now to people that can get some nice points from this race.
Well, our top several cars are all championship front runners running exactly where you would expect, but for everybody else fighting around in the middle, you're very, very right. This is going to be completely a race where consistency will get you up ahead. As we see, I think that's a slow pulse on that car behind. We'll have to check on the wheel, but I'm not sure if the overtake is active, but it's going to go side by side anyway. If you can get your nose out ahead going into these tricky little corners, you might have the edge. You can't get it this time. Worth tucking in behind for the powerful, powerful slipstream in these cars on this track. But you do need to make up quite a bit of distance, and you can't dive bomb into sunset, so the exit speed wasn't quite there, and Sid is going to have to take another try around unless he runs very, very slowly on the sunset corner. I'm amazed that didn't end up in a contact right there. That was almost felt like I was just witnessing someone's death head on. Don't even know if he made the pass, whether Stafford just made it through.
No, Stafford was they were side by side. Stafford was defending. Chris Sears obviously went in and made the pass because Stafford was so slow, and then Stafford come back on the underneath and got him again.
So I sacrificed entry speed for exit speed out there, I guess. I mean, that line might be maybe leaving quicker.
Jesus. Even simple YouTube just put damn on that one. That was almost death-defying from Chris Sears. Most cars that run out that or go in that fast and run out that far would end up in the wall on the left-hand side. Not only did he avoid that, he also managed to hold the car on the racetrack. Oh,
that's
unlike
Vargas.
Yep, that's that battle cancelled out.
Not out of it, though. Kept it out of the walls, can keep moving. That is going to count for points.
Yeah, well, we're going board Bronson Stafford looking back to Chris Sears behind. Let's hope we don't have a repeat coming down the Allman once more. Sears has got to get a run out. No, he did not get a run. Now on the push to pass. Is Bronson on the push to pass? He is. There's going to be no in the road now for Sears on their, as they're both on the, well, they're all on it, all three of them, with Benjamin behind as well. Now it's going to go static. They've got, when they decide to stop using it, you're going to get a slow one. Did Benjamin hit the wall? No, he did not. Here we go now. Benjamin, Sears, Stafford, these three not leaving each other. Oh, hold. Oh, it did all go through turn one, and he was going at some speed as well, Howie.
And as a reminder of the push to pass rules around here, you get 200 seconds total, unlimited activations, but as soon as you turn it off, you have to wait 100 seconds to use it again. That's more than a lap to get it done again. So it's not really about activations, it's about timing. It's about when you want to turn it off as well. That becomes a really real challenge, and it very much scales with the length of the races. In super short races, people use it very aggressively because 100 seconds is a long time. In really, really long races, it's very, very sparing. This is a little bit in the middle, so you do definitely see usage just about in the middle. When all three people are using it, the advantage almost cancels itself out. You might want to use it in slower sections, get that acceleration out. Lots of chances.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, is that you've got to pick and choose where you're going to use it, and you've got to make sure that you use it in a place. Now, whether or not you're going to use it as an attack, whether or not you're going to use it as a defend, whatever the situation will be, none of these at this moment in time can activate theirs, right? Oh, Chris, come back. And so currently we're still on a cooldown. Now, if Vargas thought about it, he would activate his and try and play catch up. But Bronson Stafford, Sears now can use his. Stafford's gone somewhere very, very wide. Where is Chris Sears? He has run that car literally near enough to the wall. They're side by side going into turn one. There's a lot going on now. How are they going to make it round turn one together? They leave each other room. The sight of these cars, though, Howie, they just look amazing hurtling around here.
And scary as well. This is how I lost my B license. I'm witnessing it in front of my eyes right now as it goes. I'm very surprised at how Sears actually lost out. He had a very good run, got a better line into Sunset, and it just seemed to disappear out from under him, and Stafford got the better again. This could be a dive, almost a dive bomb into the head. We'd almost love to see it. This battle's going to keep evolving, I think. Benjamin's going to sort of look in from a distance to see whether these two come together. They've almost done it once already, but Sears is going to keep going and going and going right now. This is real. This battle's on, and it's going to be on. We're almost not even halfway yet.
Yeah, Brzezowski's in there. Now, he's a lap down, and he's down currently 10 places. He started in third, so Brzezowski's overall speed is quicker than the people in front. Now he then just chooses whether or not he wants to get involved. If he's going to be going quicker, he's going to want to get through. But now let's see. Keep an eye on the light above the cockpit there of Chris Sears. Is it going to be coming on? It is. Let's jump into the cockpit. It is on. What about Benjamin? No. Vargas? No. What about Brzezowski? Is he using his? No, he's not. If you're Frankie Brzezowski, would you get involved with this free fight here, or would you leave him to it because you're a lap down?
Wait for an opportunity, I think, rather than trying to force this. Oh, we're talking about the car lap down. 1 second. Take advantage of that slipstream, I think. Just get within sort of range of it, because you get some little advantages and it could help push you back. You don't want to fight them if you're a lap down, though. If you're that car in third, maybe look for an opportunity. Don't try and send this free wide the whole time. Car a lap back. You don't want to get lapped by more people because you're keeping up time as long as you're here, but it would be bad form to pass, I think, if you're not significantly faster. And it looks like it's just about keeping pace more than anything else.
Bad form to pass, you think? Or do you think that at the end... Oh,
well,
it's Chris Sears has just
right
gone
into the back there of... He's gone into the back and lost his front ring completely there. I knew he was gonna try and force the issue down here, but a slight misjudgment of the brakes. I don't see any lock-up anywhere.
Ran him over.
I don't see any lock-up there. I think if the braking points are just slightly off, though, at that sort of speed, and you're not alongside, yeah, he really did just lose the whole front of his car. I don't know if that's repairable. You can usually just get the cone replaced, but it's a little bit more than that. We'll see whether or not he comes out.
He literally just kind of ran him over, didn't he, Chris Sears? And just missed the breaking point there as we fight to get this back to live pictures. I'm going to do it this way. Do apologise, guys, for seeing the UI, but there's not a lot of options I can do. That was whack, says Symbol in the YouTube chat. I think you might be right, and I think Chris Sears might have some apologising to do there to poor old Bronson Stafford, who is currently still running, but he's broken. Very, very, very broken.
That car is, I thought almost, despite the insanity of the contact, that he might have gotten away with it, but with the way that wheel is going, he has not gotten away with it. I found that the crew are very reluctant to repair heavy damage to these cars in iRacing. They will very much just tell you, we're not fixing that, it's over. So with Sears, possibly, no, I think Sears has. Yes, so Sears is out, and then who knows if Stafford's going to find out whether he can.
Yeah, he will.
Can make it.
He'll have a fast repair to use, and that will be the only one he's going to have here. Hop's still out in front, Venezuela in behind, Groff there, Stafford's on his way out. where is Stafford coming out in front of Crispy and Jasper. So this is actually a battle on track. And then behind that is the 29 machine as he goes through there. The 29 of Gabriel Hopp, the leader, is looking to come past both of them. So Stafford and Jasper are battling on the race circuit, and Gabriel Hopp is trying to get the lead and stay in the lead there. So Brodson Stafford, Brzezowski's got a battle on their hands for 11th and 12th here. Don't like Stafford's chances though, I've got to be honest, considering Brzezowski finished in third, or qualified in third.
Qualifying and race pace are very, very different around here. Brzezowski ended up back there for a reason, is all I'll say. Lots of things have happened on the track here today, and being consistent 25 times in a row here has proven to be the challenge, more so than getting around here fast. This is being one of the silent killers. It sort of, from a distance, until you've driven it, until you've watched it, looks safe. It sort of looks like, oh, it's an okay track, nothing bad will happen here. We've seen many evidence that many bad things can happen here, though.
Yeah, so mid-symbol. So I saw it earlier on with the Formula lights. So, you know, there clearly is a lot that can go on. Stafford on his push to pass. Brzezowski is not on his push to pass, and it's opening up the door. I do wonder for Brzezowski, though, whether or not he set himself a personal challenge here to try and stay with Gabriel Hopp in front, just to see how far he'd be able to move himself forward. I think that's the thing, isn't it, for Brzezowski? He knows he could have been fighting Hopp. He knows he could have been in that situation, Howie. And now he's got to just sit there and try and follow him and even try and, you know, stay with him as such.
Well, I mean, call it a difference in ideology. I believe in getting your lap back if you're capable of it. But if you hit someone, then that's on you. But being able to match your pace up against the leader can be a little bit painful, as well as, you know, moralizing. It can, like, make you think, I could have done this, but it also makes you think, wow, I could have done this. And I've been involved in rubbish, and now I'm at the back. I guess it gives you confidence for the future weeks. And also you can wait around for, I mean, anything could happen to Hopp. He's run a fantastic race from start to finish, but nothing stopping even the best of drivers from getting involved in anything around here. So you don't quite want to give up on the opportunity to make points on a championship leader, even if you're not lapping him on race pace.
Yeah, I'm just trying to classify something on a comment now I'm seeing. I do wonder, Chris's incident, for instance, is that the car in front was parked on the apex. Do you believe that to be right?
I'd need to see another 50 or so replays to decide. But and these brakes can be tricky. These brakes can be oversensitive. But at the same time, it's more likely to be the car behind. This doesn't always mean it is always. Especially on a tricky corner like that, on a track that many people haven't guessed. But I wouldn't want to make a claim as bold as that either in the other direction. And there could be some favoritism at play. You know, I wouldn't want to do that in something that looks a little bit give and take like that. I mean, stewards are going to be reviewing that one later. I'm sure a protest will be filed, and they'll have some nice telemetry to bring it to us. But I like to believe that it's sort of a mistake behind, unless proven otherwise. We'll find out more down the line, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with the parking on the apex. I've got to be honest. But maybe, as I said, that was the scenario and that was the situation. But it kind of didn't look that way to us. But, you know, as you say, we would need to sit here and look at this for another 100 times, for instance, because let's face it, we only saw it from one specific angle. The cars are very spread out now, and Crispy and Jasper is sitting there in 10th place, keeping up with Gabriel Hopp, mind you, so he's having a good old go. Whoever this dude is, he's awesome. I don't know which one he's talking about, Howie. I'm not entirely sure.
We're both going to believe it's off, and then it turns out it's going to be Hopp in front. So
yeah, that's what I mean. yeah, I think this is where we sit here and go, ooh, and then it turns out to
By the
be
way,
the winning driver.
On the topic of that, of that comment you mentioned, I mean, it's from Christopher Sears, and he has been a very vocal critic of this track so far. He's described it as the only one he truly despises. So coming into this today in a bad mood could lead to any sorts of things. I'm still not playing the blame game on that, but I think a lot has been influenced by coming into a track, having a bad experience, struggling a lot with it, and leaving the race in a bad mood because there's been an incident triggered. Stewards will be all over that one later, I think. They like to review things after the fact, especially in a case like that where I do not see Sears returning. I think he's chosen to park it in this case.
Yeah, I believe you might be right there. Symbol, the cars are too fast for the drivers. Try watching any other weeks. This track is trash. I'm probably guessing that might be Chris Sears. I don't think the track is trash. I like Sebring as Lucas Moody just goes up the inside of Animal Vargas there. I don't believe the track is trash, but if I turn around and asked you how many laps practice have you done, you know, would that be a different story? I think this is the thing. When you get a tough circuit, right? Point taken from me. Now, I don't drive, okay? I very, very, very rarely drive, and if I do, I generally just turn left and do a NASCAR. Tuesday, I'm doing an Aussie Supercar V8. Now, I've never driven that car in my life, but I've already gone and done 50 laps tonight before I come into this one, and I'll probably do some more tomorrow and do more Monday night before I get to Tuesday, but where the actual race is, because I know that I've never driven the car and I've never driven the circuit combo. So if I then said to you, how many laps practice did you do before the practice session opened, what are you going to say to me? Are you going to turn around and say I only did one, or I only used that practice session? That's the thing. Car combo with track is very important. Practice with it is even more important. And that's the thing. I think you need to make sure that if you've got a car choice, Howie, like this car, you've got a track like the track, knowing Sebring, you've got to go out and practice.
Well, I love the experimentation with the schedule. I'm never going to criticize a bold choice on a schedule, and I'm never ever going to say it's not a good idea, because I think the challenging tracks and the super hard ones that really punish usually a consistent field, they say that usually about two retire out of a race. I think they have amazing value, but also it is not a typical Formula track in real life either, and there are reasons why, because it is incredibly hard, possibly one of the hardest in all of iRacing in these cars, when, you know, sports cars are a completely different experience here entirely. I think it's definitely uniquely suited. I actually enjoy lapping it, but also the races are hard and the races are brutal, and they're testing even some of the most talented fields. Another mistake here from Samuel Ma. It's even the small mistakes that are costing people quite a bit. This hairpin in a car without ABS and without traction control sends so many. I managed to spin the light here, and I don't spin the light often. You can't spin the light. You can do it on this track all of the time. So hard. There's another one. Bronson Stafford. Another one into the wall.
All day. Yeah, that curb on the outside of Le Mans is crazy. If you get that wrong, you are going to be in trouble straight away. And I think for Bronson Stafford, well, that was just part and parcel of it. Excuse me. Venezuela's opened up the gap to Jeff Groff. Carson Keane is in there currently. He's sitting in fourth, is Carson Keane. Interesting to see. I think we've got Brian Long in YouTube chat. He might be able to help me out here as well. It's interesting to see the fact that Carson Keane, who is fast generally at most circuits we go to, and that's a given in this car, he is almost alien-esque, but yet he doesn't seem to quite be able to keep up with the cars in front of him, to the point of where Jeff Groff's best time is a 1:37.7, the fastest lap of the race. Carson Keane is at best time 1:38.22, so nearly half a second slower than than Jeff Groff in front of him. And I think that shows the nature of the circuit. It is a tough circuit, Lax, and I don't disagree with you, but I also do disagree with the fact that if you've not gone out and practiced, Can you really moan about it, Howie?
Well, I think when you run on tracks that are very, you're very used to, or you're very used to in Formula cars, you might think, okay, I can just jump into this one. It's Sebring, I know it. But this track has, in just my short running, absolutely exposed me. And absolutely, I can run well in my splits, which aren't great splits, but I can run well in them, trust me. And then Sebring comes around, and I'm terrified of every single corner. And like you might think it, as I said much earlier in the broadcast, because it's a deceptive track. It looks achievable until suddenly it is not. And it's the difference between people like our championship leader Gabriel Hock, who's running up in P1 from start to finish so far, faultless so far, because they really, really have learned this. Versus the people who maybe thought we can run this straight away. I know the track. You don't know them in this class unless you've done a lot of it.
Yeah, this was one of the circuits where I was running the Sebring 12-hour, I think it was, and I was doing 203, 204 in the GT3s, and I spoke to a friend at the time, and then he said, right, let's get you on track. I ended up getting down to basically a low 2-minute 201s of my time, and that was just by learning the circuit over and over and over and over again, and braking where he was telling me to, applying the throttle where he was telling me to, taking the line he wanted me to take. You can't take time off here, but you've got to know the circuit. You have to. Sebring or Detroit or Long Beach, you need 200 laps really to feel like you understand it. 200 laps is a lot of laps. It is a lot of laps, and that's the thing. I'm doing Long Beach next Tuesday in the supercar V8. The Ford Mustang. So I'm going to be out doing laps. I did 50 before I come into this. I'll go and do some more tomorrow, and do a bit more tomorrow night, and do a bit more before I race on Tuesday in the practice session. But if you don't put the effort in, you're going to be in trouble. Currently at the moment, a lot of these people, Stafford, Cesar Rodriguez, are out. Samuel Maher is making mistake after mistake after mistake. Brzezowski's back on the racetrack. Again, made a mistake. And Christian Jasper, again, made a mistake. Victor Chamorro, down 4 places. Animal Vargas, up 3. Lucas Moody, Benjamin, Zitch, Carson Keane, all gained. Jeff Groff lost. Venezuela gained as well. So the people that have really just got about and got used to the track and did the track, they've all gained places. Everybody that's gone out there like a bat out of hell, you've lost positions.
I mean, for sure, anyone that's thought I can do this, and anyone that's gotten confident has gotten beaten up very quick. And there are bits with lots of grass where you feel like you can get away with it, and then they stick walls on some of the parts you spin out of most, and you just smack them, and then you take race-ending damage on the spot. I've been scared every time I've come here in this car, but it has been a lot of fun. It's been an absolute thrill ride, and I've loved getting around it. But you wouldn't think this track has an attrition rate like a Singapore or Monaco. You wouldn't. You're just looking at it. You think that's an airfield. What's the problem with it? And then it kills you. And that's just been the story of the day with so many retirements.
Yeah. Bump after bump, picking out the bump where you need to find the bumps. If you don't find the bumps, you're in trouble. Stay to the left. Now take it out, down on the brakes. Watch the dip on the inside. There you go. Nope, too much throttle, too early. Keep to the left-hand side of the line there that runs down straight, opening it up as much as possible on the brakes. Take a wide entrance in. Let it run. Stay off that curb. Wide entrance round the right-hander. There you go. You think you can be tidy, and you can, at the end of the day, it's just practice, practice, practice. And this is what we've got at the moment. Gabriel Hopp out in front there. I sell tents at this track. When not, if you crash. It's $3.50. Huh? I sell tents at the track. When not, if you crash.
So it sells you a tent when you crash for $3.50. Who knows?
I'm guessing so. I'm guessing that's what it means, but it says when, not if you crash.
Well, I think it's for the retired drivers. You know, you crash out, you're done, and it's like, okay, and he's saying that, like, hey, it's an inevitability that they're going to crash. We know this is going to happen. You want to park it up on the side and camp for the rest of the weekend.
Yeah, definitely. And that's I've done some camping in my time at a racetrack, but then again I was at a drag strip. So, and then got woken up at 9 in the morning by a hurtling machine down because I was right by the backside of the drag strip. It went hurtling down at 9 a.m. It just went absolutely scared the living doodies out of me. I've never woken up so quick in my life. So there we go. But very, very interesting on this one. Settle down a little bit. Gabriel's going to be coming round now. He's got a few corners before he goes on to his final lap. So we'll have one more after this one. Lucas Moody is closing in at a rapid rate of knots on Benjamin. Can't see any major mistakes from Benjamin. I think Moody is just fast. However, he hasn't gone long left of that push to pass. We are going to go through now. Lucas Moody looking at the inside of Joseph Benjamin. He's got 0 push to pass. I think he's used it, every single bit of it out. 3, 2, 1. He is out. He is now a sitting duck. If Benjamin thinks about it and uses his push to pass on the almond, which clearly he's still got some left here, Howie, Lucas Moody could be a sitting duck.
It depends on the pace getting up to that point, really. I found it's often a lot more effective coming out of acceleration and going into these super fast sections, but I think Moody has something on Benjamin here. Could just get away with it, not activating yet, but there could be a chance going in to this long back straight. Both cars going immediately wide on that corner as we do, but that's not how you enter. Benjamin loses that gap on the white flag. That 38 seconds of overtake isn't going to get him quite that close by the line. That was such an opportunity. I mean, I guess he could be thankful it didn't end in worse. I've seen trips to the grass end in tears as he'll claim his P7. Well, he might be entering the red flag lap right now as Gabriel.
Yeah, he is. He's got one more.
But he's not going to catch in that sort of time.
No, he's got one more to go, and he's got 1.7 seconds. He had the opportunity, and it's all gone poof. He can't turn off that push to pass. He'll never get it on again before the end of the lap. He might as well use it all the way out here. Gabriel Hopp has got 10, 9, 8. Don't do that, bro. Don't showboat. I've seen that all go wrong.
You can do it in one corner's time, buddy.
Yep.
One corner.
Definitely. Do not showboat earlier on, but it is going to be Gabriel Hopp who's going to come over the line, take that victory here at Sebring. Pablo Valenzuela is going to come over in second. Jeff Groff is going to finish in third. It's interesting that Carson Keane is so far back of the pace and is going to come over the line in fourth there. Anthony Zitch will be in fifth. Love the livery, dude. Gotta be honest. Props to you on that one. He's got 17, 16, 15, 14 seconds left. Doesn't want to leave anything on the table. You might as well just run it all out.
By the way, I'd like to clarify, just some more discussion going on in the server. Not quite a blame game between Christopher Sears and Bronson Stafford. Christopher Sears saying, it's my fault because I rear-ended you. Justin did not expect that speed drop off. Haven't had an incident the entire season, so sorry you got caught up in it. Should be no hard feelings between the two, although the stewards might still dish out a penalty for that on-track incident. One of two only real on-track crash flashpoints. A lot of solo mistakes here to find this one.
Well, apart from unless you call crashing on the straight.
One of two. That's the other one.
Yeah, apart from Victor
was
Chamorro. Yeah, Victor Chamorro and Crispin Jasper. I'm not quite sure how you guys managed to come together on a straightaway. I've got to be honest, that was just absolutely insane. And Chamorro is a long way at the moment. He's on his way through Bishops down into Lamont. So he's going to go left, open it up, stay off the curb, take a little bit, and now go. And you can see that he did manage to do that. Victor Chamorro going to be the last one over the line. So let's see what goes on after this as well.
Maybe the car will explode.
Maybe. You just never know, do you? Never, ever know. But let's bring you up the results here from the race. Gabriel Hop is your winner, ahead of Pablo Valenzuela for 2.6 seconds. Jeff Groff in third. Carson Keane down in fourth. Anthony Zitch in fifth. Lucas Moody sixth. Joshua Benjamin is in seventh. Manuel Vargas in eighth. Victor Chamorro in ninth. Crispin Jasper, boys, sort it out. You crashed on a straightaway. Frankie Brzezowski in 11th. Samuel Marr 12th. Brodson Stafford 13th. Chris Sears 14th. And Matthew Rodriguez on the final step of the podium. But we can bring in your winner, Mr. Gabriel Hop. Gabriel, welcome in, buddy. How are you?
Hello. I'm great. So good to win here in Sebring.
Sweaty?
Yeah, a little. In the middle of the race, I got to build a gap, but the first laps were really sweaty.
Yeah, then it kind of turned into a bit of a managing the gap back to Venezuela. Never really dropped under that 2-second mark there, Gabriel. Cements your lead in the championship at this moment in time, especially with Pablo Uribe not being here.
Yeah. I want to. I think Sebring was a very good round for me, so I really want to extend the points in here, and I'm glad it worked.
Yeah, it did. You did a great job out there as well. Try and explain to the viewers at home just how tough the bumps are here, Gabriel. Just give us a little bit of an idea.
I needed to go to the settings in iRacing and change the neck absorption thing because I was getting dizzy with the bumps and I couldn't see the corners. Like, it's insanely bad.
Yeah, it definitely is, but one that was challenging for you all. Is there anyone that you want to shout out before we let you go, Gabriel?
Yeah, I want to shout out for to my parents. Probably they are watching. So yeah, that's it. It was a very good round. I'm happy.
Awesome stuff. Well, Gabriel, thanks so much for joining us there, and we'll look up catching up with you next week.
Thank you so much.
And in second place is
Just
one
try to
Mr.
keep it.
Pablo Valenzuela Uribe here in second place in the championship, second place in the race. Let's have a chat with him now. Pablo, sorry for interrupting your conversation. How are you, sir?
Hey guys, no, there's not any problem with it. We were just talking with Jeff that the race was pretty tricky, really tricky. The track itself is really hard in the cars. I don't know, like the setup didn't help a bit in this. Was pretty hairy, like to oversteer when you get into the turns. Understeer when you're getting out of it, and I don't know, was really heavy, really. But we can kind of figure it out and try to take the race ahead. And after a couple of races that were very eventful, like personally was I take it like a result.
Yeah, I think we'll take second place there, mate, and a great job with that one currently. So it's going to be exciting to see how you guys can get on. Did you think you could catch Gabriel here? Did you think you could get him?
Yeah, for sure. There's plenty of opportunities from here to the end of the championship, and anything can happen. We just have to take it race by race, and that's another thing. Like real great kudos for Gabriel. He had an amazing race, and last two races I think he has been pretty there and in the pace. So congrats for him. It was a hell of a race from him.
Yeah, it was. You did a absolutely great job going forward there as well. Next circuit, we're off to Kota. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, and I like it. For these cars, it's amazing. I hope the setup can help this time, but anyways, the track is great, and in the cars is just had a hell of a time being racing there. So can wait for it. Just go everything with all of it.
Now, we got 2 weeks to wait there, Pablo, as well. Thanks so much for joining us. Anybody you want to shout out before we let you go?
Yeah, shout out for my family in particular. My mother-in-law, for my girlfriend. My mother-in-law just passed away last week, so was pretty eventful and pretty sad week for everyone. But we are all taking pretty good, so just a big hug for them. We will miss her. Was a great person.
Yeah, sorry to hear that one. Pablo, thanks so much there, buddy. Look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks' time.
Thank you, guys. I'll see you around.
Take care. All right, next up, we're going to have a chat with the third place man, Mr. Jeff Groff. Jeff, how was it out there, buddy?
It was difficult. I'm starting to think P3 is kind of my limit, but yeah, I mean, just too many mistakes. This track will eat you alive. Too many bumps, just too inconsistent with the braking. There was just a lot of issues out there, but I'm glad that I was able to keep it on track.
Look, you've kept it on track. You've kept it, you got your P3. You're P3 in the championship. You're still going to be P3 in the championship going into the final 3 rounds. What are the chances? Gabriel's looking very, very quick here.
Yeah, the top 2 are looking just super strong, and then there's super strong behind me as well. So I mean, my goal at the beginning of the year or beginning of the season was just to stay with it, stay in the hunt, try to keep consistent. But they're being just as consistent or more consistent. So it's going to be tough. I need to work on some things and try to get a little bit more consistency the last couple of rounds.
You're going to COTA in 2 weeks' time, buddy, as well. How much practice do you reckon you'll get in for COTA?
COTA is another tricky one, especially with this car. I was really hating it up into the last race that I did there. Christian and I both overachieved in that race. And so we really improved with it. So I'm hoping that we can kind of pick up where we left off there. I know it's going to be tricky, so it's going to need a lot of work. Good thing we got a couple weeks to work on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Jeff, thank you so much for joining us there, buddy. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
Yeah, thanks. My wife, my kids, Destino Motorsports, Go Squadra, Christian, my teammate, SR4S, and you guys for putting on the broadcast as usual.
All right, man. Well, take care, Jeff, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time.
All right, thanks, guys.
There you go, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Howie, they all seem quite happy. Gabrielle as well.
I'd be happy if I make it to the final lap of that race, let alone even the top 3, to be honest. Lots of mistakes, lots of drama, and a lot of people sending themselves to the back one way or another. So it's time to cool down. The drivers get an extra week off due to Canadian Thanksgiving. And then they are back at a proper Grand Prix track, as mentioned. One that I actually struggle with more than this, but we know has a lot of space for drivers to run around. It's become a bit of a modern classic, really.
Yeah, it definitely has on that one. And thank you so much for everybody who has joined us. Don't forget, for the Super Formulas, we are going to be back in 2 weeks' time. Okay, so if you have a look at the schedule, in 2 weeks' time, we will be off to COTA. So join us for that one. It's going to be very, very interesting indeed. But for now, guys, that's going to wrap it up here. Thank you so much for joining us. As you say, if you are here watching it back, new to the series, new to the channel, like, subscribe, turn on the bells. That would be absolutely amazing. But for now, I've been James Parfitt. I've been alongside Harry Burrows. And as always, take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on a track sometime. Good night.